It's early morning in this working-class neighborhood of Mexico City. This group of Somalis say they've come here to escape the jihadi group Al-Shabaab. Now they find themselves facing new dangers in a strange land.
We checked only last night how many people died in Mexico City, man.
But to Abdikadir Ahmed Omar, it's still safer than the home he left in South Somalia, the violent heartland of Al-Shabaab, an affiliate of Al-Qaeda that's killed thousands. Abdikadir says he narrowly escaped a violent attack on his home. A local police chief told him he couldn't protect him or even his own men from Shabaab. He's traveled thousands of miles since and has thousands more to go to reach his goal.
My first and the second and the third destination was Canada. Hence, most of the immigrants that I was going with and from different nationalities, they were going to US, yeah? But for me, USA is not an option. They are against immigrants, refugees, and especially someone like me who was a Muslim, at the same time black, at the same time a Somali.
Abdikadir says there's no going back. Shabaab branded him an infidel for his work as an interpreter for foreign organizations. He told us he even worked one day for the CBC, a claim we checked and confirmed to be true. Like most of the migrants, Abdikadir has been robbed at gunpoint as he traveled across South and Central America.
If anyone wants to hurt you, because you're just a foreigner, and it's very easy.
To many Mexicans, they're a curiosity. Somalis learning to eat tamales. Most of these men left families behind. Unwilling to subject them to the rigors of this journey, they hope to bring them to Canada later. Their American journey started mostly in Brazil. Since then, they've crossed jungles, rivers, and at least 9 borders to reach Mexico City. It was during that journey they learned about President Trump's order banning all Somalis from the United States.
I don't want America, I want Canada. And there's no way I can go through America to Canada illegally, because this is the only way.
So they spend their days waiting, but a clock is ticking. Mexico's given them a visa good for only 45 days. Their money is all but gone. But still, they dream of reaching a country where, as they've all heard, a man who was once a Somali refugee like them has become Minister of Immigration. They also know all about Justin Trudeau.
I frequently follow him on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. One of the things that I was like when he was teaching Donald Trump that there is a good side of the refugees and he doesn't compromise the security of Canada. At the same time, they have a policies and system in place to help the refugees.
Every night I do dream about my future. I always think about my mom and my parents and how life was difficult for them. So I don't know how it will be. Because I know my mom and my father and my sisters are still there. And life is very difficult there. So, I don't know.
Canadian authorities are aware of what's happening here. They know that the people we've met here and the people crossing Canada's borders on foot in winter are all part of the same new migration, following the same well-worn path. In fact, Canadian officials recently traveled here, where they were briefed by Rodolfo Casillas of Flagship University, one of Mexico's leading experts on migration. Mexico has long discouraged refugee claims, says Casillas, and yet these men may have no choice but to stay here if they can't cross the border.
Just as Canada is becoming the second destination of North America, Mexico is becoming the unwanted destination. Alongside the American dream, we now also see the Canadian dream, and let's just hope it doesn't turn into the Mexican nightmare.
For now, private charities like this Quaker-run hostel are picking up some of the slack. And it's here we meet Emmanuel.
From Ghana to Ecuador. Yeah.
Okay.
And then from Ecuador with a bus to Colombia.
Yep.
And then from Colombia through the jungle for 5 days. Walking, yeah.
Emmanuel says he's scared to show his face for fear of deportation. Like many of the migrants here, Emmanuel has read news stories about refugees nearly freezing to death on the Manitoba border.
The one that's going to lose their fingers, yeah. They walk through the snow, yeah.
So you're familiar with that story?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
But it doesn't deter you, it doesn't scare you.
No, it doesn't. So far as I'm not going to lose my life, no.
These migrants see the U.S. not as a destination country, but as a transit country like Mexico, and like Mexico, a country full of dangers. They're driven by a message they've heard that Canada is different.
I either die or survive. That's the two options I have. And I'm ready to do that for the sake of my parents and my wife.
Yeah. You know you could freeze to death, right?
Absolutely. I know. But what my parents do for me when I was young is greater than what I'm doing for them now. Yeah.
What's holding these migrants back now is fear of what will happen to them in the United States, that they'll be detained and then deported back to the countries they fled. And so for now, they bide their time in a Mexican limbo, unwilling to go back, unable to move forward, and not allowed to remain here. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Mexico City.